This is the Ford Fiesta, and it's been one of Britain's best-selling cars for 4 or 5 decades. In fact, how many decades is it? It's 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties, and whatever we call the current decade, I don't know. I've actually owned 3 Fiestas in my time, so I've had one exactly like that, one like that, and my favourite, one like that. But I have to say, this current version is actually the best Fiesta yet, by far. The only thing is that the Fiesta is a little bit more expensive than you might imagine. So it starts from £13,500, but if you click up there to go to carwow.co.uk, you can compare offers from top dealers and buy a price you're confident in. And on average, people save £3,600 on a new car through Carwow. Let's talk about the Fiesta's boot first of all, because it's a little bit bigger than that of rivals. So you think, oh, well, that's good then. It's going to be a nice practical car. The problem is the boot isn't quite as usable as you might imagine. So there's a huge lip for you to lift stuff over. It's not great if you've got a bad back like me. And then when you look about it, there's not particularly many useful features. So we've got a couple of hooks there. You think, oh, I'm going to have some underfloor storage. There's actually a full-size spare wheel under there, which is actually a good thing, I must say. But yeah, other than a couple of cubby spaces here, there's not much going on. You've also got your warning triangle and stuff just there in the boot, which is quite annoying. And when I fold the seats down, let me show you this. You get this big ridge, so it's hard to like load items all the way to the back because they snag on there. Right, let's move on to the back seats. Obviously, this is the 3-door version of the Fiesta, so it's a bit more of a palaver to get into the back, but it's not the worst. I'll just get this out of your way so you can see what the heck is going on back here. Now I just put that seat back, it's in my driving position. Now you'll notice that, well, knee room is really, really tight here. Look at that, it's not great. And if I sit up straight, yeah, my head is touching the roof. So this car does feel more snug in the back than say a Vauxhall Corsa. It's not quite as bad with a 5-door, but still the Fiesta does seem more cramped in the rear than its key rivals. As for the middle seat, well, yeah, it's kind of same story really. And if you want to actually see what it's like with 3 people in the back of this car, click up there to watch our detailed practicality video. You'll also be able to see just how much stuff we could cram into this car's boot and what it's like trying to fit a baby seat in the back of this Fiesta. So that's the back seats dealt with. As for the design, well, the Fiesta, it's been around for a while now, but it's stood the test of time very well. I really like the grille. It reminds me of that from an Aston Martin. This is the ST line model, so it sits lower, and it's also got more sporty trinkets such as a spoiler on the back. Thing is, on the inside though, the Fiesta's design hasn't stood the test of time quite so well. In fact, the layout of these buttons is actually modelled on a mobile phone, but it's obviously an old mobile phone. Looks like it's been copied from a Nokia 3310. And then there's the infotainment system itself. I mean, look at it. I mean, it's old-fashioned as well. It's a real pain to use when you compare it to something that you get in, like, say, a Volkswagen Polo. And if you click up there, you can see a full in-depth review of the infotainment system and have another good look around this Fiesta's cabin, because bits of it are good. For instance, like, you've got a nice big squidgy dash up there, but the rest of the materials are very brittle and cheap feeling. Can't complain about cubbies though, you know. There's decent sized door bins. Look, I can fit a big bottle in the door bins, and there's some storage under there. The glove box, it's an all right size for this kind of car. Got some extra little bit of storage down here. In terms of trim levels, I'll just keep it simple. Get the Z-Tech, it's pretty much got all you need. Things like air conditioning and Bluetooth.
Now though, let's hit the road, as it's here the Fiesta really impresses.
I remember the first time I drove this current version of Fiesta, and I was totally blown away with how good it was. There's something about it, it's just fun, it's just fizzy, it's got bags of personality, and you can feel exactly what the car is doing through the steering wheel and all the pedals, and from the seat beneath you. It really is an engaging car to drive, and it's proof that good things do come in small packages. There is a slight trade-off to pay for the fun handling though, and that's that the ride does feel a little bit firmer than in rivals such as a Volkswagen Polo. Also, this particular car, the ST line, is on stiffer suspension, so it is a little bit more fidgety. One problem I've noticed with the Fiesta though is when you're travelling at speed, you do notice you get quite a lot of noise from the tyres. In terms of town driving, it's actually easy to see what's going on around in the Fiesta. So you sit a little bit higher than in other Super Minis, and so that helps. And these quarter lights are really useful at junctions, so you can like peer through them to see what's going on at the front of the car. And the visibility out the back's all right as well, even on this 3-door version. And if you click up there to join me for a 360-degree passenger ride, you can see exactly what I mean for yourself. So for most people, most of the time, they're going to be best off with a 1 litre EcoBoost turbo petrol with 100 horsepower. That's what's in this car, and it's fast enough, so I'll drop a gear, put my foot down, and yeah, it takes off pretty well, though it does make this sound when you accelerate because it's only got 3 cylinders. Now Ford says that it should be able to do 65 miles per gallon, which is pretty good, though the trick computer says, well, I'm averaging 47, which is, well, that's so-so. If you're going to do loads of miles, maybe you want the 1.5 litre diesel, and if you want to go fast, get the 1.6 litre turbo petrol in the ST model. In fact, the Fiesta ST is one of the most fun cars in the world. Sorry, I was just channeling my inner Clarkson.
Sorry, that was a little bit lame. And now here are 5 lame things about the Fiesta.
The notchy gearbox means that sometimes the car is a little bit tricky to get into reverse. You think you're there, and then actually you're not. In places, the build quality is a little bit questionable. The display for the trick computer looks like it was built in the 1980s. Only the top spec car has a centre headrest for the rear passenger seat. While the Fiesta has some decent cubby spaces, this one, it's rather pointless. Things are just going to fall out when you accelerate.
Thankfully, the Fiesta has enough cool features to make up for all this.
Thanks to Ford's easy fuel system, there is no fuel filler cap to unscrew. The 140 horsepower version of the 1 litre EcoBoost engine has more horsepower per litre than a Bugatti Veyron. All Fiestas get a heated windscreen for a fast getaway on a frosty morning. You can get ambient mood lighting for the cup holders, and there's even a little slot specifically for energy drinks. With Ford's programmable key, you can set a maximum top speed and volume for the stereo. Perfect if you're lending the car to some youths. Now, if you click up there, you can get more information and save on average £3,000 on a new Fiesta at carwow.co.uk. So then, what's my verdict on the car? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it, or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist the Fiesta, mainly because it's such good fun to drive. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and click on the big CarWow logo to subscribe to our channel. Also, click on the video windows to watch our detailed practicality, infotainment and 360-degree passenger ride video for the Ford Fiesta. Now, did you spot the Easter egg in the video? It was the Fiesta on the video on the phone in the glove box.